If your work is helping somebody else make a lot of money, meanwhile you're getting paid in probably pennies compared to that, you're underquoting. And you need to stop doing that. This video is for you. A lot of artists are underpaid not because they're untalented. They just don't know how this industry works. Nobody taught them this part of the industry, how you're supposed to quote your services properly, and how you're supposed to get paid a living wage instead of snack money. First problem is that a lot of artists they learn pricing from panicking. Now, what I mean by that actually is the fact that a lot of artists they're probably getting their first project after a long time, or even if it's not a long time, it is their first project, right? So what you usually do is that you quote really low. You either quote really low or you're like, I'll start low, I'll start safe, because what if they run away? That fear inside you is holding you back from charging a proper rate from these clients. Now, what you're thinking about is that, oh, okay, I'm going to charge like this and this, like let's suppose $10 or $50 even for an illustration. Now, what you're thinking is that how much time is that going to take you? What you have to realize here is that a lot of the clients aren't thinking about how much time is going to take you or what's going to go into making this and that. What they're thinking about is how this specific piece of art is going to be useful for them. Now, what I mean by that is, let's suppose someone is making their comic. Now, they're going to have like probably 50 pages, 100 pages even. Maybe less, maybe it's a fanfic, right? It's a passion project. What you're scared of is quoting properly because you're thinking that somebody else is going to charge them less. And you need to match that. You need to sell yourself short from what you're actually supposed to earn because you're scared of pricing yourself properly. You are setting a benchmark for future projects. If you start on a low project, that temporary rate is going to set in and it will become your identity instead. You need to stop doing that. You need to keep yourself from doing that. I know how that feels. Trust me, I do. But no. Another one of the problems I see a lot of artists making is that they're saying yes too early. You need to define what the project terms are going to be, how many revisions are going to be included, and what's going to be included properly. Now, this includes basically everything that you can think about in a project. If you're making professional art that goes into, let's suppose, books or comics or anything really, like let's suppose it's a music cover that you're making art for, you need to define the terms and the deliverables and the time limits properly so that you can keep yourself safe, you can keep the client safe, and you all have something to go back to if, God forbid, you guys end up disagreeing on anything, or if someone's getting too annoyed by another person's behavior. If some things are left unsaid, that's dangerous because that leads to a lot of imagination. What that's going to result in is that the client is going to be asking you for things that you didn't agree to, things that you thought were already, set in stone, things that you thought that, okay, they were already understood. These aren't included because A, you quoted them too low, and these things need to be said. Please, please, please make everything in writing and make sure you sign a contract. Even if it's like something not that big, just have it out in writing properly, something understood. Make like a long message being like, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. Do you agree to that? We're not going to move forward otherwise. You need to set a limit as to how many times you're going to work on a project instead of doing them unlimited revisions. That is exhausting. Another thing I want to discuss is the copyright. Yes, the copyright. You might think that this specific piece of art that you're making, you're free to post wherever you want. A lot of the clients, what they do is that they drag you into these NDAs, which basically don't let you show any of the work that you're doing. Now, most of these people I've met on Upwork, and let me tell you, not a good idea to sign an NDA. And if you are signing one, don't sell yourself short. because that essentially means that you're not going to be able to post your art anywhere, you're not going to be share what you're doing, and you don't know how long that's going to take. And these people, they use their art to the fullest that they can. They present it as their own, they post it on their accounts as though they made it. Be careful. If you're selling your rights to post your art or showcase it anywhere, make sure you're charging for that. Don't do it for free. And definitely be careful of whatever you end up signing as well. Go through it twice or thrice and have somebody else look at it as well. Because I do not want you all to fall into the same traps that I once did. Contracts are dangerous, and so are copyright issues. You can get sued for that. Be careful. But I'm not telling you to just suddenly up and change your pricing all of a sudden, quote a luxurious charge. Just be careful what you're letting yourself into and think a little, give yourself a little bit of time before you end up quoting a client. Make sure you listen to everything that they want, and make sure you're not signing yourself up for something that you're not getting that well paid to do. Be careful out there. A lot of these clients are actually out to loot us for our work. Anyways, if you guys like my video, please subscribe and follow my channel. It's Alia Arts on Instagram. Bye.